For centuries, sailors believed the island itself was the greatest secret hidden beyond the edge of the world. They were wrong. The island was only the doorway. Thousands of feet beneath its cliffs lay an entire city swallowed by the sea. A city whose lights still burned after 5,000 years. No one knew who had built it. No one knew why it had disappeared. But the moment Captain Adrian Vale stepped into its silent streets, he awakened something that had been waiting for a long time. The Lost Voyage, Season 1, Episode 3, The City Beneath the Sea. The first rays of dawn spilled across the mysterious island, painting the towering cliffs in shades of gold and emerald. Mist drifted lazily between ancient stone temples, and waterfalls tumbled from impossible heights into pools, so they reflected the sky like polished glass. Captain Adrian Vale stood there at the bow of the horizon, unable to look away. For 7 days, his crew had sailed beyond the edge of every known map, expecting storms, monsters, or perhaps the end of the world itself. Instead, they have found paradise, or so it seemed. Behind them, the crew gathered silently along the deck. Even Rowan, who really found himself at a loss of words, stared in disbelief. "I sailed every sea I know," Rowan whispered, "and yet this place shouldn't exist." "It doesn't," Adrian replied quietly, "not according to the history. The towering lighthouse that had guided them to the silver mist still dominated the coastline. Its white stone gleamed as though it had been carved yesterday, untouched by time or weather. Yet no smoke rose from his lantern, and no keeper stood at his summit. The figure they had seen during the night had vanished. Adrian lowered a small boat in the water. "I'm going ashore. I come with you." "So will I," said Mia, the expedition scholar, carefully closing her leather journal. Mia had spent years studying forgotten languages and lost civilizations. The moment she saw the island, her eyes lit with excitement rather than fear. "I waited my entire life for a place like this." Rowan laughed. "Yeah, most people would have waited their entire lives to avoid it." Within minutes, 6 members of the crew rowed toward the shore. The sea around the island remained strangely calm. No fish, no seabirds, no sound except the steady plash of oars. Even the air felt different, cool, ancient, almost alive. As the boat touched the white sand, Adrian stepped onto the island. The moment his boots met the ground, a faint vibration traveled beneath his feet. Not an earthquake, something else. Something responded. None of them noticed the lighthouse glowing softly behind them. The jungle beyond the beach was unlike any forest they had ever seen. Massive trees twisted toward the heavens, their silver leaves shimmering in the morning light. Flowers the size of shields bloom beside crystal streams. The air filling the air with an unfamiliar fragrance. But butterflies with wings that glow blue differed silently through the branches. "It's beautiful," whispered one sailor. Miwa knelt beside a carved stone half buried beneath moss. She carefully brushed away centuries of dirt. Symbols emerged. Circles, stars, a compass unlike any she had seen before. Her face stained pale. "I know these markings." Adrian looked surprised. "From where?" "The ancient map." She opened a parchment they had discovered in the royal library. The same strange compass appeared in one corner. "Exactly the same. This island," she whispered, "is the first kingdom." Rowan frowned. "The first kingdom of what?" Mia looked towards the mountains. "I don't think humanity remembers. They followed an ancient stone road leading inland. Massive statues lined the pathway. Each depicted men and women dressed in elegant robes. Their faces were calm, peaceful. But every statue had one unusual detail. Each figure held a crystal spear against its chest. Many of the crystals had shattered. Some remained untouched. As Adrian passed one of them, the crystal suddenly emitted a faint pulse of blue light. The captain stopped. "Did anyone see that?" Rowan nodded slowly. "It reacted to you." Before anyone could investigate further, a deep horn echoed across the island. One long note, ancient, powerful. The sound seemed to come from everywhere at once. Birds exploded from the trees. The ground trembled. Then, silence. The crew instinctively reached for their swords. "What was that?" asked one sailor. No one answered. Far above them, the lighthouse flashed once. Hours later, they reached the ruins of an enormous city, or at least what remained above the surface. Towering columns surrounded broken plazas. Stone bridge connected temples, perched upon cliffs. Massive statues overlooked empty streets, reclaimed by vines and flowers. It was larger than Avendor, larger than any city Adrian had ever imagined. Yet, not a single soul remained. Miva slowly walked toward a circular platform in the city center. Its surface was covered in hundreds of tiny symbols. She carefully traced one with her fingerprints. Suddenly, the entire platform began glowing. Golden lines spread across the stone like rivers of light. The crew stepped backward. A low rumble echoed beneath the ground. Then the earth split open, not violently, gracefully. The circular platform slowly separated in dozens of moving stone wings. A staircase appeared, descending deep into darkness. Cold air rushed upward, air carrying the scent of salt water, and something ancient. No one spoke. Finally, Rowan looked toward Adrian. Captain, I know we should leave. Adrian stared into darkness below. We didn't come all this way to turn back. The staircase descended far and seemed possible. Torches along the wall ignited one by one as they walked. No flame, only glowing blue crystals. The deeper they traveled, the warmer the air became. Then they heard it. Water, not waves, flowing water. They reached the final step. Every member of the crew froze. Before them stretched an impossible city. Not ruined, perfect. Entire streets stood beneath a vast crystal dome. Elegant towers reflected shimmering blue light. Bridges crossed canals filled with perfectly clear water. Gardens bloomed beneath an artificial sky, created by thousands of glowing crystal suspended high above. It was magnificent, impossible, beautiful. The city, whispered Miwa, was never destroyed. One sailor removed his hat. My God! It was hidden. Adrian slowly stepped forward. His footsteps echoed through empty streets. Not a single building had collapsed. No dust covered the stone. It looked as though its people had simply disappeared yesterday. Then Woven noticed something. Captain? He pointed toward the far end of the avenue. Footprints. Fresh footprints. Someone had walked here recently. Adrian tightened his grip on the sword. We are not alone.